The village of Bengo huddled where the mighty river kissed the Kalunga, the endless sea. Its people knew the water's moods, the gentle lap of a friendly tide, the frothing fury of a storm summoned from the deep. And they knew above all to respect Kianda. Not one Kianda, mind you, but many the spirit of the Whispering Creek, the ancient soul of the deep river bend, the vast, powerful presence within the ocean's rolling heart. She was the life in the water, the giver of fish, the taker of the careless. Offerings of cassava flour, white shells, and whispered prayers were left at dawn on smooth-washed stones. A plea for bounty, a plea for safe return. Young Kito, though strong and skilled with his net, knew only hardship. His catches were meager, his canoe as weathered as driftwood, his hut perched precariously on the shore. He watched others return with baskets overflowing, silver scales flashing in the sun, while his own net held little more than size. Bitterness, cold and sharp as a hidden reef, began to gnaw at his heart. "Why me, Kianda?" he'd mutter to the indifferent waves. "What offering have I not made?" One evening, desperation drove him out long after the other canoes had returned. The sun bled crimson into the horizon, painting the water with fire. Kito cast his net with a grunt born of frustration, not hope. It sank into the indigo depths, strangely heavy. He hauled, muscles straining against the resistant sea. This is no meager catch, he thought, a spark igniting in his chest. Perhaps today. He broke the surface with a gasp. His net wasn't filled with fish. It glowed asterisk. Coils of luminous pearls, bars of gold that shone like captured sunlight, nuggets of strange, blue-veined metal, riches beyond the dreams of even the village asterisk Angola asterisk, the chief. Kito's breath hitched. Fortune, his prayers answered. He scrambled to haul the impossible bounty into his tiny canoe, its wooden sides groaning under the weight. As the last bar of gold clattered onto the pile, the water before him shivered. Not a wave, but a disturbance from below. The surface parted like silk and she rose. Kianda, not the vague concept whispered in prayers, but a being of breathtaking, terrifying power. Her skin held the shifting blues and greens of the deep ocean, shimmering like abalone shell. Hair like strands of darkest kelp flowed around a face both ancient and ageless, beautiful and stern. Her eyes, vast and deep as the Mariana Trench, held the cold fire of drowned stars and the wisdom of millennia. She didn't stand on water. She was the water that cradled her form, merging seamlessly below the waist into the powerful, sinuous tail of a creature born of the abyss. Kito, son of Bengo. Her voice wasn't loud, yet it resonated in his bones, the sound of tides pulling and waves crashing on distant shores. This treasure is mine. A gift freely given to ease your hardship. Take what you need, build a sturdy boat, mend your hut, feed your kin, but remember the balance. Take only what sustains. Greed. Her eyes narrowed, the water around the canoe suddenly growing colder, is a stone that drags men down. Kito trembled, awestruck and terrified. He stammered his thanks, bowing low, his forehead almost touching the gold. Kianda watched him for a heartbeat longer, then sank back beneath the surface without a ripple, leaving only the scent of salt and deep water. For a time, Kito remembered. He built a fine boat, painted blue like the sky. He mended his hut, sturdy against the wind. His family ate well, their laughter a new sound in the once dreary dwelling. He left generous offerings on the stones. The village marveled at his fortune, whispering of Kianda's favor. But the treasure pile in his new, locked chest seemed to whisper too. More it seemed to sigh, more boats, bigger huts, riches to make the Angola bow. The memory of Kianda's warning faded, drowned out by the clinking of gold coins he counted by lamplight. Why should I stop? The sea is vast. Kianda has plenty. He returned to the spot, the place of his miracle. He cast his net not for fish, but for more treasure. He dove deep, risking the crushing pressure, scraping his hands on the seabed, driven by a feverish hunger. Days bled into weeks. His new boat grew neglected. His family saw him only as a shadow passing with a sack. Offerings ceased. Prayers turned to curses against the sea when his frantic searches yielded nothing but sand and disappointment. One storm-lashed night, frustration boiling into rage, Kito stood at the prow of his fine boat, shaking his fist at the raging sea. "Kianda!" he screamed, his voice ripped away by the wind. "Where is my due? Give me more, more." The storm seemed to pause. The wind dropped to an eerie whisper. The churning waves calmed abruptly around his boat, forming a circle of unnaturally still, dark water. Then the surface directly before him bulged asterisk. Kianda rose again, but this time her majesty was veiled in wrath. Her eyes were whirlpools, cold and furious. The water around her crackled with unseen energy. The gold in Kito's hidden chest, back in his hut, seemed to hum faintly. "I gave you sustenance, Kito." Her voice was the grinding of continental plates, the hiss of 1,000 drowning breaths. "You craved only gluttony. You silenced the songs of gratitude. You forgot the balance." She raised a hand, not adorned with jewels, but formed of liquid power. "You hunger for the treasures of the deep? Then come, feast forever on what you desired above all else." Kito tried to cry out to beg, but no sound escaped. A shimmering wave, silent and impossibly heavy, rose from the still circle and washed over his boat. Not a wave of water, but a wave of transformation asterisk. Where it touched wood, the boat became smooth, cold stone. Where it touched rope, it became strands of swaying kelp. And where it touched Kito, he felt the air burn his throat, suddenly useless. His skin tightened, then cooled, becoming smooth and scaled like a fish. His legs fused, bones shifting with a sound like cracking coral, elongating into a powerful alien tail. Gills flared on his neck, gasping instinctively at the water now rushing over him as the transformed boat sank. He looked up through the darkening water, seeing the storm-tossed surface recede. Kianda watched him descend, her expression unreadable, a queen surveying a subject who broke an unbreakable law. He sank to a reef not far from Bengo's shore, a place of luminous corals and swaying forests of seaweed. His stone boat became an outcrop. His treasure chest, transformed into a cage of glowing crystal, sat beside him, its riches now cold, hard pebbles and dead shells. He had his gold. He had the sea. And he had an eternity to contemplate the suffocating weight of his greed, trapped in a form that sang only with the mournful sighs of the currents, a warning to any fisherman who dared listen too closely to the siren song of morn. The villagers of Bengo, they say, sometimes hear a strange melody on still nights, a sound like coins clinking underwater, mixed with a low, sorrowful moan. They leave their offerings faithfully now, flour on the stones, shells on the sand. And they teach their children, Kianda gives life, Kianda takes life. Respect the water, share your bounty, and never ever mistake her generosity for endless treasure. For the sea remembers, and Kianda's justice flows as deep as the ocean floor. Listen. Can you hear the tide? It carries all stories eventually. Sleep now and dream of respectful shores.